Novi, dark horse MVP Spartan offensive guard Kevin Jarvis. He will not give up 1 sack in 2019. An outside linebacker Tyreek Thompson. He's been in the system for a few years now, and I think he's ready. And he is ready to think less and just trust his abilities. I know I'll never hear either one of you say anything remotely negative about Michigan. Okay, but I have a major concern about their defense. They gave up 125 points in the last 2 games when they played good teams. Then they lost 6 of the better players off that defense. I think the offense has questions. In my opinion, Don Brown's defense will get torched. Ohio State gave everyone the blueprint. Hope I'm wrong. What we said over and over and over again is they have a ton to replace on defense.
Yeah.
The Ohio State game was wildly concerning. And I think this is a year that Don Brown kind of has to step up and prove that his chalkboard is every bit as good as everybody thought it was.
Yeah, and I almost made my rebound needs to rebound Don Brown instead of Kalik Hudson. But I believe if Kalik does that, we'll be talking about something different come the end of the year.
Don Brown said something after they got the Penn State game 2 years ago where they just got smoked. Remember that?
Yeah.
He said that game kept him up. He'd wake up in the morning thinking about the Penn State game. I think it's a pretty safe assumption.
Yeah.
That he wakes up in the morning now thinking about the Ohio State game from last year.
If you're in Schembechler Hall, there is nobody that walks around that's not at the top of their mind every waking minute. And when you go to bed, you have nightmares about that game because it was just that. It was a nightmare. It was a faceplant. And if you want to win a Big Ten championship, you have to get 2 wins this year. That is Michigan State and Ohio State. Flat out, if you lose one of those games, you're not going to have a chance to win the Big Ten.
I'm not going to go there because that implies that those 2 teams are both going to go 11-1, and I'm not sure what to expect from either of them either. I've said this over and over again. I think every team in the Big Ten East, amongst the contenders, nobody is as good as they were last year. And in part because Ohio State's bringing in a new quarterback. And yes, 5-star, we all get it. But just like anything else, got to prove it. Ryan Day, all accounts, great young coach. How does a team respond to him during adversity? How does he do compared to Urban? Is there much of a chance he's as good as Urban Meyer was? I suppose it's possible, but Urban Meyer was unbelievable. I think the only team in the Big Ten East amongst the contenders that'll be better than they were a year ago is Michigan State. They were pretty pedestrian. So the question is, how much better is it good enough to get them into the mix in the East?
And the question I have about Michigan is not defense. I've seen those guys, and I have no issue with what we have replacing the talent that we lost. The question I have is Josh Gaddis. He has never been in a play calling position, and I don't think we're going to see it against Mississippi or Middle Tennessee. We won't see it against Army. Where he will be tested is against Wisconsin in Madison, when things are the ebb and flow of the game is going to be tough. And how does he respond to a 3-and-out? What does he make changes to? What happens if you have 2 or 3 series in a row where the offense doesn't look good? What changes does he make and is confident in making to generate some offense?
John, here is something that I have heard almost every time a new offensive coordinator comes in and there's a system change. Between the end of the first season and the beginning of the second season, you hear all the offensive players and generally the quarterbacks and skill position players saying, well, we're now comfortable in the offense. We don't have to think now. We know what we're doing. We've been in the offense for a year. So, yes, when it comes to Josh Gaddis, that is a challenge. Breakout guy, Brad Hawkins. Don't forget about guy Carlo Kemp. Rebound guy, Kalik Hudson. Game that scares me, Army. That's from an unnamed texter. Breakout guy, Zach Charbonnet. Don't forget about Tariq Black. Needs to rebound, Kalik Hudson. Dark horse team MVP candidate, Josh Uche. Under the radar, Dax Hill. Game that scares me, Wisconsin. Then there's this. Michigan is going to beat Army by 5 touchdowns. You guys are crazy. Using OU and some precursor for our matchup is nonsense. Compare our 2 defenses, our safeties versus the option. I like Michigan's chances there against a vastly inferior team.
The Oklahoma Army game, as not a precursor, Kyler Murray was the Heisman Trophy winner. They were an offense that put up 45-plus points a game and only managed 28 in overtime. Army is a team where, in general, you're going to have 15, 16, maybe 17 possessions throughout the course of a game.
Between the two teams.
Between two teams. In this game, you're looking at 10 or 11. I mean, your opportunities are limited. If you make a mistake in one of the first couple, you don't want to be playing from behind. On the flip side, if you can get up against a team like Army, they are not a team designed for quick strike and to come back. So it's a catch-22 for them.
248-539-9797 plus your ticket text at 97136 and your tweets at Doug and Gator 971. John Jansen is in for Gator. Coming up at 11:05, this guy's made available should the Lions trade for him. Rumor is he's going to be traded soon. Should the Lions make that move? It would be aggressive. It would be bold. We'll get to that at 11:05. Saw this today, John, and this is something I cannot wait to challenge you to do.
Oh.
Darren Ravel tweeted out that last night at the MTV Video Music Awards,
I don't want to do anything they do there.
White Claw outsold beer.
Consider where this was done.
Okay, fair enough. But White Claw, we have talked about this on the air quite a bit. These hard seltzers, whether it's White Claw or Truly, or there's one called Harry's. I'm not sure. I inadvertently called No, I'm not even going to say it to you what I inadvertently called it because.
Please do.
I thought it was White Clam originally. But anyway, White Claw outsold beer. John, you have never tried White Claw.
No, I didn't even know what it was until you said it this morning.
You have to. For the purposes of the show, you have to try a White Claw.
All right. Well, I'll be back on Friday. So I have some between now and then. I've got some homework. I will try one, and I'll try it. I'll
just try one, so we can get the report back. Kang, you made the comment that you thought you could drink 5 or 6 of them and it would have no impact on you.
I said 50. I mean, I had a couple that. Whenever we talked about it, that following weekend, we made it. We made a point to go get some, just to try some. It was all the rage, right? And I drank a couple, and I said, I think I drank 50 of these. I mean...
So I'm going to have to go to Costco.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but it feels like nothing. Right, Doug? Like you're just drinking water. It's got 5% alcohol.
It feels like one of those drinks that your mom bought you when she wanted no sugar pop when you were a kid.
Yeah, like the pop's gone bad,
so
guys.
what's the flavor?
Yeah.
What's the flavor?
They have all kinds of flavors.
They have all kinds.
Oh, they do? So what's...
mango and raspberry and black cherry and lime.
Grapefruit.
Do they have anything that sounds somewhat manly?
No. Let me look it up.
So you have a fruit that you consider manly?
So what you're saying is I'm going to have my wife go get it because I can't be seen walking out of the grocery store with
well, you could say it's for her.
So what do I have to get with it?
Let me see if
John's going to be like, can I get a 40 of White Claw?
Yeah.
What do you mean I'm selling 40 ounces?
Put that in a paper bag for me.
Anyway, outsold beer last night at the MTV Video Music Awards.
Probably by a lot.
Consider the
Seriously.
source. Come on.
At the MTV Video Music Awards, yeah, probably by a lot.
Yeah. What's the rage? Okay, White Claw.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
All right. Flavors. Here, I got a list of the flavors.
No laws with the claw. That's what they say.
This is there's raspberry, natural lime, black cherry, ruby grapefruit, and mango.
So I'm going to have, boy, that's a tough one. I don't know. I'm going to have to go with the raspberry, I guess.
There's a pure, which I guess is like no flavor. Which, okay. All right. You'll report back to us on Friday.
Will do.
Should the Lions aggressively pursue this guy who is available now via trade? We'll get to that at 11:05. 97.1.